The drama surrounding Aaliyah Boston's latest interview is one of those moments that flips the conversation on its head. For months, critics and commentators have tried to script their own story about the Indiana Fever, a locker room in disarray, a chemistry experiment gone wrong, a team that couldn't possibly balance the weight of Caitlin Clark's spotlight with the pressure of rising expectations. But when Boston sat down for a raw, unfiltered conversation on Sue Bird's Eye View podcast, she didn't just dismiss the speculation, she dismantled it. What came through wasn't division, but trust. Not bitterness, but laughter. And, most importantly, a window into the resilience of a team, building something bigger than the noise swirling around them. Boston has never been one to shy away from honesty. And in this interview, she leaned into it with refreshing candor. One of the first things she confronted was her history with Clark. Before they were teammates, they were rivals in one of the most memorable Final Four clashes in recent memory. Clark had dropped 40 points on Boston's South Carolina squad, a performance that became an instant part of March Madness lore. And while most players would tuck that memory away, Aliyah admitted she had to bring it up once they became teammates. She laughed as she recalled telling Caitlin, "I just need to get this off my chest. Because girl, you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to go for 40 on our dome. It could have been awkward." It could have been a source of lingering tension. But instead, the honesty became a bridge. That conversation broke the ice, shifted the energy, and set the foundation for a partnership built not on resentment, but on respect. Instead of rivalry defining them, it became a shared joke. One of those little inside stories that teammates carry with them through long seasons. And what's unfolded since then is a chemistry that feels both natural and earned. Boston described what makes their connection on the court so potent. It isn't just Clark's passing vision, or her ability to stretch defenses, or Boston's instincts around the rim. It's the unspoken language they've developed. The way Aliyah watches Clark's eyes to anticipate where the ball is going. The way one sets a screen knowing the other will make the right read. It's trust disguised as rhythm, intuition forged through repetition. That kind of connection doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and the willingness to believe in each other even before the results start showing. But with the spotlight Clark brought to Indiana, time wasn't something they were given. From the moment Caitlin entered the league, every pass, every glance, every missed shot was magnified under a national lens. Fans and media alike dissected body language like it was game film. Was Aliyah unhappy? Was she frustrated? Did she resent Clark's fame? The narratives built themselves, fueled not by facts, but by assumptions. And for Boston, it was exhausting. She admitted that the noise got so loud, she had to log off social media. Not because of Caitlin, but because the commentary became suffocating. Every bad game became a referendum on their relationship. Every slump became a conspiracy. She already put enough pressure on herself. The last thing she needed was strangers online telling her she was failing as a teammate or a player. So, she chose to walk away from the noise. And in that choice, she found clarity. Because inside the locker room, the reality was nothing like the rumors. Boston laughed as she recalled waking up from a nap, scrolling through her phone and seeing speculation that she and Clark hated each other. By the time she got to the locker room, her teammates were joking about it, asking, "Girl, you good?" The so-called drama simply didn't exist. The team knew it, the coaches knew it, and Aliyah knew it. The gap between perception and reality couldn't have been wider, and yet she didn't dismiss the attention entirely. In fact, she celebrated what Caitlin has brought to the league. The spotlight, the fans, the new eyes, it's all good for women's basketball, she said. The Fever embraced it because they understood the bigger picture. Fans might show up for Caitlin. They often leave having discovered an entire team of hoopers. That's not a burden. That's a gift. What Boston rejected wasn't the attention, but the impatience. Chemistry takes time. Growth requires patience. And while the outside world wanted instant fireworks, the Fever were focused on building something sustainable. She also gave a glimpse into how the Fever have navigated the turbulence of this season. From the highs of playoff potential to the gut punch of losing Clark mid-season to injury, Indiana has had every reason to crumble. But instead of folding, they've leaned on each other. The mantra from day one was clear: next woman up. Injuries happen, rosters shift, players come and go, but excuses aren't an option. Everyone has to be ready. Everyone has to contribute. And while Clark's absence undeniably changes the game, lowering the tempo, shifting the offense into more deliberate half-court sets, it's also forced Indiana to adapt. Boston broke it down simply: when Caitlin's on the floor, be ready to run. The ball moves faster, the spacing changes, the defense stretches thin. Without her, the Fever grind teams down, executing deeper into the shot clock, forcing opponents to defend multiple actions. Learning to thrive in both systems, Aaliyah argued, has made the Fever more versatile and more dangerous. Through it all, the veterans have been the glue. Boston praised teammates like Natasha Howard, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, especially Sydney Colson, for keeping the team steady. Colson, often known publicly for her humor, has been a quiet force behind the scenes, knowing when to speak up, what to say, and how to keep the locker room's pulse steady. For a young star like Boston, having that kind of leadership has been invaluable. It's a reminder that championships aren't won by talent alone, but by culture, and that culture has carried Indiana back into the playoff spotlight. Even battered by injuries, even written off by critics, the Fever have fought their way into a semifinal showdown with the defending champion, Las Vegas Aces. The odds say they shouldn't be here. But Boston, steady and unshaken, has been the rock that keeps them anchored. Head coach Stephanie White called her the team's emotional anchor. The balance between competitive fire and calm presence, Boston herself acknowledged that the Fever aren't interested in moral victories anymore. They've had their taste of the postseason. They've felt how slim the margins are, how quickly veterans can seize control, and how close Indiana is to breaking through. The days of being underestimated are over. This team isn't sneaking up on anyone. They're not the hunters anymore. They're the hunted. And that's exactly how they want it. So when Boston pushed back against Sheryl Swoopes' earlier criticisms about supposed locker room discontent, she didn't need to do it with anger. She did it with truth, with laughter, with the kind of confidence that comes from knowing the real story. The Fever aren't fractured. They're united. They're not weighed down by Clark's spotlight. They're lifted by it. And they're not rattled by outside noise. They're fueled by it. What Aliyah Boston revealed wasn't just an inside look at her relationship with Caitlin Clark or a rebuttal to gossip. It was a masterclass in resilience. In the face of scrutiny, she chose honesty. In the face of pressure, she chose patience. And in the face of doubt, she chose belief. As the Fever pushed deeper into their playoff run, those choices matter. They're the difference between a team defined by rumors and a team defined by results. And if this season has proven anything, it's that Aaliyah Boston is not just the future of the Fever. She's the voice, the anchor, and the quiet force that will carry them where they're determined to go. Now the question becomes, how far can they take it? Can Indiana's resilience overcome Vegas's championship pedigree? Can Boston and Clark's partnership rise from narrative to dynasty? And will the Fever's chemistry prove stronger than all the noise that surrounded them? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe this team has what it takes to finish the story? And if you're riding with Aliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and the Indiana Fever, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because if this season has shown us anything, it's that their journey is just beginning.